Yeah, up until I was around 11, I had a pretty like uneventful, normal, just like childhood, just like every other kid kind of. And then my sister was born with like a narrowed aorta, so, and then which wasn't that great. And then like 3 years after that, my mum had a major epileptic fit. So which in the space of the 3 years, that was like the most eventful, like worrying time, I guess. What happened to my sister? My sister was born with a narrowed aorta, which is the main artery that takes blood away from the heart and pumps it around the body and stuff. So, it changed her growing up, like because for the first 6 weeks she was in like hospital like constantly. She had major heart surgery at like 6.5 weeks old, like to fix her aorta, obviously. And then for like 3 years she was in and out of hospital, like with checkups, and just like doctors worrying about her and making sure she was growing properly and her heart was alright and all that kind of stuff. My parents were just like really stressed out for the entire 6 weeks when she was in hospital. Obviously, like upset about stuff, but weren't really concerned with much apart from like making sure she was getting better. But so it was quite a weird, stressful time, I guess. I was 11, 12-ish, just started year 7, so like it affected me because I just started school and I was just starting to get into like the groove of school and getting used to it, like secondary school. And then like my sister was born, I was like happy, but then she like was born seriously ill, so I couldn't really focus on school because I was too busy worrying about her, and spent 6 weeks in school just sort of sat staring out the window thinking about my little sister. So she's 7. She's 7 and she's fine now. Like she got cleared from the hospital. She didn't have to go back for like another year and a half or something. So they basically just said she's fine. She's outgrew it. So everything's fine now. Fine and dandy. She's just got a few scars that she's got, but apart from that, she's fine. I'd say I love her more. Like because for the 6 weeks, all I did was think about her. I really cared about her. Like loved her to bits. And like now, I'd say I'm a bit more protective over her than I really would have been. Like because I've got another brother and he's not really overprotective over me, but I am really protective over my little sister. I think that's probably tied into the fact that like I thought I was gonna lose her within 6 weeks of her being born and something. Well, my mum was like, when she was a little kid, like 14, I think, she got hit by a bus, which left her like disabled. Like she couldn't use one of her legs and one of her arms. So, like, she was told she'd never have kids and stuff. And then obviously I came along, and I grew up with it. So I never really like knew any like different. Like she was just my mum, and like I asked her like, oh, how come your legs like that and your arms are like that compared to like my friends' mums, and she told me, and it never really bothered me. But like when other kids found out, they were like really, really mean about it for some strange reason. Like they bullied me about it, I guess, which I never really understood. But it was like I'd grown up with it, and it wasn't a major change to me. Like so, sort of dealt with it. Like, but yeah, my mum had a epileptic fit at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something, and I must have been like 14, 15, so I kind of still a bit unsure about what was going on. Like, but my dad came into my room. I was still awake, and he was like, "Oh, Sean, go for an ambulance. You need to come look after your mum. She's having a fit." And I didn't know she had epilepsy at the time. She wasn't. I don't think she'd been diagnosed properly with it. So like I had to go into my room, mum's room, and she was in bed, obviously having a fit. And I had to phone the ambulance, keep her calm, keep my dad calm, keep myself calm. Like, fortunately my little sister didn't wake up, otherwise that made it a lot worse. But yeah, I had to like talk to the ambulance people and sort of just deal with the situation, because my dad was just like a massive wreck because he didn't know what was happening to my mum, and he'd been with her for like 15, 16 years, I guess. So that was the first time it's happened to him. So emotionally I was scared, and like upset about my mum, but at the same time I knew that if I didn't like man up about it and just deal with it the best way I could, I had to be strong for her, because if I wasn't, then my dad was going to be messed up, and she could have came off worse off than she did if I didn't sort of do what I did and just make sure she was alright and stuff. I'd say I'm a lot more protective over my family now and my friends. Like, I care more about like when people get hurt and stuff, because I know I like my sister and my mum, and I know I have to like not really take control, but sort of just be brave about it. Kind of like just can't be worried about it until after. And except for myself, but apart from that, like if any of my friends get injured or anything, I'm always like more like bothered about making sure they're okay. Like going to like I don't know, like a father figure, I guess, and just sort of make sure my friends are alright. But that's because that's what I had to do for my mum and my sister, I guess.